So, welcome and thank you very much for being here.
It is a pleasure to be here in the beautiful community of Sesimbra.
Is it Portugal has a country interesting for American citizens for business or just to relax and travel, and why?
Well, I think Portugal is an amazing country that appeals to all kinds of Americans, American investors, American business people, American students who have the opportunity to study here, and American tourists. I think the problem has been that Portugal has not yet been discovered as fully as it should be by Americans, and one of the things that we're doing at the United States Embassy is making those kind of connections. I think that what Portugal has, which all the Portuguese people know, are beautiful beaches, and Sesimbra has some of the best beaches I've seen in Portugal. It has wonderful food, it has wonderful wine, it has beautiful weather, but what really makes Portugal special are the people. The Portuguese people are among the kindest and nicest and warmest and most welcoming people for anywhere in the world, and that says, come to Portugal.
Yes, quite true. Thank you. There are a lot of Portuguese-speaking entrepreneurs learning and doing business in the U.S. What are their real changes?
Well, I think what's really happening is the technology revolution. That's what's happening here in Portugal, is that you have tremendous advancement in the world of technology. For instance, a professor of astrophysics at MIT, Dr. David Newman, who is now the #2 person at NASA, says the quality of innovation and technology coming out of the major Portuguese universities is equal to that of the major U.S. universities. Craig Mello, 2006 Nobel Prize winner in medicine, whose family comes from the Azores, was here to look at the biotech and life science industry, and his answer is that it's cutting edge for anywhere in the world. So there are opportunities for Portuguese entrepreneurs to take that technology, to bring it to the United States, and have access to American companies and American capital that will help grow jobs and grow businesses on both sides of the Atlantic.
What could you advise to who's trying to do business with the U.S.?
I think the important thing for people trying to do business in the U.S. is to understand that while the United States is a large company, it's not hard to do business there. It takes some persistence, it takes some determination, but a lot less determination than it took 5 centuries ago for the discoverers to leave the banks of the Tejo River in Lisbon without GPS, without maps, and set sail into the darkness, not knowing they would fall off the end of the world. Portugal and the Portuguese have that courage and have that entrepreneurial spirit in their blood. The United States is just another market that, when the products are good enough and the opportunities are there, can be conquered by Portuguese business people.
Do you advise to the ones that manage companies in Portugal?
Well, I think the important thing about managing companies in Portugal is that what it takes to grow and expand is confidence. That what we see in the United States are people who have ideas and have the confidence to expand them. They take risk, they're persistent, they understand that sometimes you fail, but if you have confidence, you pick yourself right up and you do better. So what I would say to the Portuguese business people is, don't be afraid to take chances. Don't be afraid to push your companies to new limits. You may make some wrong decisions, and if you do, you correct them, you move on, and you look to the future, because the future is where your business will go.
What are the main challenges and what still need to be done in the U.S.?
Well, I think in the U.S., we tend to to have a great entrepreneurial spirit, but we look at companies that are often starting in the United States. I think one of the things that we can do in the United States is realize that there's great innovation happening in other parts of the world that we should connect into. Portugal is a great example of that. The biotech and the life science industry here, what's being discovered in the world of pharmaceuticals, in the world of medicine, in the world of genomics, for instance, is highly attractive to U.S. companies and U.S. investors. So I think we need to think more globally as well and realize that not all the best ideas come from Silicon Valley or, frankly, from my hometown in Boston. There's a lot of great ideas coming from Lisbon and Coimbra and Porto and Braga and other parts of this country.
I know that you are here in Sesimbra for just a couple of hours, but what are your first impressions of our city?
My first impression of Sesimbra is it's a place I'm planning to come back to. It is a beautiful, beautiful city. I had a chance to walk along the water. The mayor was kind enough to give Kim and I a tour of the city. We got to see the beautiful waterfront. We got to see the lovely landscape and the cliffs of Sesimbra. I'm a scuba diver. I am going to be recertified in the spring, so I know that this is a great spot for diving as well. So I think people will see me quite a bit. And if my wife has anything to say about it, I know you're going to see us together because she's already planning our next trip here.
Okay, thank you.